Hello everyone, my name is Stefano Castelli and I'm the head of creative production at lastminute.com, and together with me we have
Manuel Mascheroni, head of content management at lastminute.com. Hi everyone.
Cool. Today we're going to talk about creativity and scale in the age of automation from our perspective. So who we are? We are part of the creative production team. So it's a sort of internal agency serving the group, the lastminute.com group, as a kind of creative agency serving content, creativity, art direction, digital design, CRM, and other kind of also technology in order to serve the contents on the platform. We are part of this group, lastminute.com group, that has three main business lines: OTA, online travel agency, so we are about travel, so we sell travel, with the most important brand, which is lastminute.com; Meta, so Meta Search with JetCost, another cool brand specialized or specific on Meta Search; and Media with Forward, our in-house media agency. So here in the slide you can see some numbers, so showing that we are quite big group and a quite complex group. No? That's why we are managing this complexity. And in order to do it properly, we need to focus on three main pillars, which are also fundamental elements of a digital first world. So scalability, creativity, and organization. In regards to scalability, in particular, we are talking about how we are managing our catalog of product. In regards of creativity, we are talking about the usage of stock image and how are we making them looking more interesting and unique. And in regards to organization, we will focus in the full remote environment that we are living, that we lived for the past year and a half, and the processes that helped us surviving in this full remote environment and make scalability and creativity achievable. Let's go on scalability. Okay, the image catalog to drive automation. Our goal here is to offer relevant and personalized content and offers to our customers and automate the production process. How we are dealing with it? We need to understand that our travel product is complex, okay? So it's not a physical product. We are not selling goods, we are not selling clothes, we are not selling products with a specific code, okay? But we are selling products that are a combination of several elements: the hotel, the flights, the number of passengers, the destination, and so on and so forth. So this kind of combination is kind of hard to represent and to show, to inspire our customer. Of course, one question could be, what is more relevant to show, hotel images or destination images? And we are testing a lot of these kind of things. But the very first step in order to offer relevant and personalized content to our customers is to have a solid catalog of content based on destination and hotel images. We're working on it a lot together with Manuel, and this is an example of what is an offer for us, that it's a combination, of course, of images, copy, price, number of nights, all these kind of things that we are automating thanks to Cloudinary and also to other tools that are serving as feed managers. So here you see overlays, you see the image that is coming from the catalog, and so on and so forth. But as I was saying, we are working on it constantly because the catalog needs to be managed, needs to be updated, and we need to leverage a lot and scale the content production to get to a decent level of personalization. So I want to ask Manu, where are we? Can you give us more details?
Of course. So what we have been doing is we looking at real searches from real customers of our websites. We've been pulling the data about the most searched destinations, and we put them prioritized in a list, which is this catalog. So imagine the catalog as a list of destinations ordered by traffic. And based on this prioritization criteria, we've been already covering the top 1,000 main destinations with image selection and custom copy creation. So as of now, 1,000 destinations are already covered with handcrafted and hand created images and copy. And still counting, because we're taking care of the catalog every single day. And why is that? So the purpose of this is to try to centralize the information per destination in a central repository to try and then feed the site and the marketing channels from this central place, so that so in order to keep the site and the channels consistent with the content and the messaging we are providing to the customers.
That's very good, but how much time are we saving?
So that's hard to say as an absolute number, but what we can say to get you to understand is we can make an example. So let's say that we need to run a campaign about Ibiza, and we take 1 hour to come up with images and copy for it. And we run a different campaign about Ibiza 10 times a year. We would need, with a manual approach, we would need 10 hours. So 1 hour each time we tackle the project about creating content about Ibiza. While with the catalog approach, automated approach, we would just need to focus on Ibiza once, populate the catalog with relevant information about Ibiza, and then for the 10 times we need to run a campaign about Ibiza, we would just pull the information from the central catalog and populate any of our channels with consistent information coming from the central repository that is handcrafted and well curated.
That's very cool. But let me challenge you a bit, because the habits of people changed due to the pandemic, especially when it comes to traveling, due to the restriction, unfortunately, and all the things that we are living now. So how do we make sure that also less popular destinations are covered too? For example, now there is the trend of staycation or domestic travel, no? So maybe they would love to go to a very small village in the countryside or whatever. What are we doing to cover this?
So the most searched destinations is not the only criteria we use in order to prioritize the population of the catalog. There's also something else that we implemented internally as a company, and it's an alert. Before I explain this, I need to tell you that actually today, in this moment, if you book something through our website, when you go to the booking funnel is already pulling images and copy from the catalog. So the connection is already in place and the catalog is already feeding different places. The thing is that sometimes the booking funnel shows some destinations that for some reason they have never been searched, or they are too small, so they haven't been covered yet with image and copy creation in the catalog. In this case, when this happens, so when a real customer hits a destination that has no image or no copy, we would receive an alert so that we could prioritize the coverage for that specific destination. And that's the second criteria for prioritization for us, to try to populate the catalog as much as possible.
Very nice, very nice. But let's think big. What about the more advanced management for the catalog? Can we also take advantage of it in order to fulfill criteria of personalization and clustering? So any idea about it?
Yeah, we're already thinking about it. We already have a couple of ideas to try to enhance the use of the catalog, actually. So, for example, we could try to collaborate with our business intelligence department in lastminute.com to try to match the image offering with the audience type, so that we could leverage on the type of on the cluster each of the customers are fit in, and tweak the proposition of image that we would make to him. Like, for example, knowing that a customer is in the family cluster, we wouldn't show him an image about partying in Ibiza, for example. Or another idea we are thinking on, we're trying to implement, is try to tweak the image offering based on seasonality, so that, for example, we would offer a different image based on the period of the year the customer is booking a holiday for. For example, at the top you can see an image about Cologne in Christmas time, so which would be the best fit for a user to see if they are booking a holiday on Christmas time, while at the bottom you can see an image about more springtime or summertime, which would be best to show and in line with the user expectation when they are looking for summer or spring in Cologne.
That's nice and sounds like a plan. Although they look pretty much stocky to me, these images, Manu, but let's see creativity, make stock images less stocky, okay, because we have a goal here, so that it's to inspire customer by using images that reflect our brand values to sell our products, always paying attention to the production costs and efforts. Of course, as we can see before, we need to leverage on stock images, but we have to do it in a creative way in order to differentiate from the competitors and to get the most out of them. Unfortunately, it's not feasible to do a custom shooting for each kind of destination, because it will be a huge effort and probably also useless, because also, as we were commenting before, the travel habits are changing a lot considering different kind of possible variables, and this is a pretty much environment that is not stable, okay, so it's very much evolving and changing continuously. So in order to make sure we inspire the customers in the right way, we need to use the stock image but in a creative way, okay, and of course try to implement it considering an automated approach, because we can do the best artworks, but for each artwork we can take 1 day, so it's not serving our purpose. Let's see a very, let's say, common use case, unfortunately, because I see many times that our competitors use very similar images to promote their campaigns. So we need to find a way to make our proposition stand out. So Manu, what are we doing?
So as you said, so the competitors probably take advantage of the same stock providers as we take advantage of, because the stock providers are not millions in the market. And so in order to try and differentiate our proposition in terms of imagery and branding, we've been working together with the art and the design teams in order to try and implement a new creative direction. And this is pretty simple, it's not hard to explain. So basically we worked out a set of patterns, gradients and shapes in line with the brand guidelines, in line with the brand proposition. And based on the image type and based on the context the image has to be put in, we will be applying these shapes, like patterns, gradients and shapes, over the images to try to get them to have a lastminute.com feeling and to make them unique to our brand. And on this slide, you can see that this hero image on an actual page, this is the actual Flight Plus Hotel page that we have on lastminute.com. The hero image is composed by a stock image, which is still obviously part of our final image, with a set of patterns, gradients and shapes all over it, to give it a lastminute.com nuance. So that hero image in this case is unique to our brand.
That's very clear, but is that easy to implement? Any chance to automate this somehow?
It is pretty easy. Like for example, right now the designers already have the shapes and the graphic elements implemented as masks in their templates. So that's pretty easy for them to come up with an image at this moment. The interesting thing we're working on right now is to try to get rid of the manual approach here as well. So to try to not to have to ask designers to come up with the images handcrafted with the graphic elements, but to try to implement the graphic elements dynamically over the images, taking advantage of a Cloudinary capability, which is the transformations, which is a very cool feature that would allow us to dynamically apply an image as an overlay to another image, so that we would end up having our patterns, our gradients, our shapes dynamically added just by manipulating the URL to the final image in order to come up with our own brand lastminute.com final image. As you can see, like for example here, on the left you can see a real example of a card on our website, as you can see, with a stock image about Spain. And on the right you see still the same offer type with the new lastminute.com creative direction. Like as you can see, there's patterns, there's gradients, there's shapes, and this is the lastminute.com feeling we are looking at to try to make our image offering unique.
That's very nice, Manuel. Thank you. Now it's time to think about a bit the organization. So, in order to make achievable scalability and creativity, and to collaborate, especially now that we are living in this full forced remote working due to the pandemic, I believe that organization is a crucial pillar to take care, and we have a goal here as well. So to achieve the scalability and the creativity throughout cross-department collaboration, taking advantage of a number of tools and procedures. Tools and procedures that, of course, we had even before the pandemic. We're not creating anything from scratch ad hoc, but the usage of these changed a lot. For example, the usage of Cloudinary for digital asset management and accessibility played a crucial role here, because in a full remote environment, having a clear repository is beneficial. Second, catch-up meetings. We had meetings even before, but we, especially the people sharing the same location, like me and Manuel, usually we were meeting also informally, no, at the coffee machine, or maybe speaking about stuff on daily basis, no? So having a sort of never-ending meeting somehow, no? So now we need to schedule everything. So our calendars are busier than before, but maybe more organized, and we dedicate the right time to the right thing. And then, of course, processes. So we had processes even before. Of course, we use Jira since years, but now we realize that it's very, very important to keep a clean backlog. So a clear progress of the task in order to measure, track, and also guarantee that the people are having a good, let's say, capacity plan in place. Okay, so these kind of things are very, very important for us and helped a lot surviving in this full remote environment. And here we want to provide you a couple of examples in terms of how we are, let's say, implementing these processes on daily basis. So I want to ask you, Manuel, let's implement this new creative direction that we saw before. How can we do it quickly?
So that's actually pretty quick to implement in our websites. It's just a matter of organization. We only need to tackle the project and try to think that we deal with multiple countries, multiple languages, and multiple brands in our company. And ideally, we would come up with a new graphic elements at the same time all across them. So we would need to just to coordinate the task internally to make sure that we action the task at the same time, which means having ad hoc meetings about a kickoff for the activity, and having following specific tickets on Jira to file each one of the activities needed to achieve the goal that you have in mind. The cool thing for you is that if you want to be updated all the time about the progress of this project, we can just set you up as a watcher to the tickets, so you'll just be up to date with the status and with the changes that we make for this project.
That's great. That's great. I love it. I love so much these images, and I would love to use them also in a presentation for a partner. But normally we were selecting the images together with you, with the art, so we were all together. I love that, but now it's not possible. I don't want to schedule a meeting for this. We are super busy. I want a way to do it by myself. So how can I do it?
So technically, the images with the patterns and the graphic elements, the new graphic elements overlaid, are not stored in Cloudinary because we compose them dynamically. So we don't really create them and store them again. It's just a matter of manipulating the URL in the final location. We'll put them in. But still, it's pretty easy for you to achieve and to get that kind of image if you want to put it in a presentation. So in Cloudinary, we store all of the original images, so you can look for them. You can look for the image you're looking for, like for example an image about the London Eye. Just look for it in Cloudinary, and whenever you find the image you're looking for, you just send it in a ticket to the design team, and they'll just come up with the image that you're looking for in a matter of hours.
That's cool. Thank you so much, Manuel, and thanks everyone for joining. So just some key takeaways as a recap. We are Stefan and Manuel from creative production team lastminute.com. So we are serving the group as an internal agency in order to manage creativity, CRM, and content. For us, there are a lot of challenges due to the complexity of our environment, especially the complexity of our product that we learned is something different from physical products, and so it's crucial for us to find a good way to represent it and to sell it to our customer in order to inspire them. In order to do it, we need to be creative, so creativity is a strong pillar for us, so we need to differentiate among the competitors and have a solid brand proposition, so our creativity needs to stand out. In order to do it, we will need to be organized because the environment is complex, the business lines are multiple, so we are a big group and we're serving all of them. So especially in the full remote world, we will need to have strong procedures and processes in place in order to achieve these goals and not only, and to manage also our daily workflow. Thank you so much for joining, guys, and see you soon.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, Stefano and Manuel, for that session. That was great. Hello, everyone. My name is Max from Cloudinary. I'll be doing the Q&A moderation for this section. And let's jump in and take some questions. Here's our first question. You must have thousands of stock images to manage. Which parts of the Cloudinary system or DAM are you using to help find them?
I'll take this one. So basically, yeah, we do have thousands of images, literally more than 10,000. So the first thing to do is to store them in a good way, so that they're easy to find for everyone and they're easy to search for everyone. So the folder section, the folder structure is the most relevant part, really. Then all of the images get tagged either automatically or manually based on the image type. So like, for example, the stock images get automatically all of the tags that are related to the stock provider. So they're all automatically added in as a tag so that they're easy to find, even in Cloudinary. Also, with Cloudinary, we have implemented a specific feature that would tag each one of the images with the folder structure the image belongs to. So it's very easy for us to identify an image that is put in a nested folder. That's very easy for us and to anyone in the company to find that kind of image.
Perfect. We've got a few questions around stock. Here's one from Joseph. How would you approach using stock video and social media content in an authentic manner? So I think a little bit around the user-generated content and using stock video that looks a little more real. I know you've done a lot of that with photos. So yeah. Any thoughts about how you do it for video?
Yeah, I take this one. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we were not investing so much on videos in general and social. So I'm speaking about things that we did back to pre-pandemic world, because we had to make a decision. Okay, so we had to focus on taking care of our customer, refunding them, etc. So we didn't perform so many social activities, but we will reactivate. I believe that we will also invest again in videos, and we are also recently used the time also to reorganize the library of videos or stock videos. Of course, as we have stock images, we mainly have stock videos. We did few ad hoc production in the past, but we don't have plans to do this in the future. So we will for sure reorganize our social strategy starting from the stock video. And the plan is to apply the same rules and logic that we saw with images, of course, making them feeling more interesting and personalized by adding our own animation based on our key elements that we are defining for our new creative direction, gradients, patterns, shapes, and try to build some nice storytelling with the footages that we have. Then that's a bit what we did in the past. We also did some video production with also testimonials, etc. But
it's not in our scope for 2022 because we are reactivating slowly all the marketing activities post-pandemic, and we start in-house. We keep it simple. We need to be strong and efficient with the resources that we have.
Makes sense. Perfect. Thank you, Stephanos. We've got one more question here. You mentioned making stock images less stock-like. Are you doing this work manually? Will you automate it more in the future? And just a general question about what that workflow looks like, around the team. Yeah.
Okay, I take this, then maybe Manuel, you can dive deep a bit for the future plan. So for sure, we started with a semi-automated approach somehow, no? Starting with some Photoshop elements, okay, that were easily added to the images with some actions. But then, of course, we are leveraging for some cases already, but the plan is to increase them much more, the usage of transformation. And then I will let Manu dive deep on this because it's something more technical that I would love him to take.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, automating this with Cloudera will be easy and would be very, it would be a joy for us in a way, because that would allow us to really, just by manipulating the URL, even using the API, it would allow us to just make sure that all of our new shapes, gradients, and the new creative production, creative guidelines are applied to any stock images in a very structured manner and controlled manner as well. So, and Cloudera with this, with the transformations functionality is really very much supporting all of our use cases and helps us very much automate this.
Perfect. I think we have time for one more question. Talking about the dynamically generated assets, do you create them from the original full-size image, or do you use a smaller sized asset and keep the original size separate?
This is mainly for you, Manu.
Yeah, so if I get the question right, so normally we would keep all of the originals in a specific folder in Cloudera so that we know that all the images that are downloaded from the stock providers or newly created remain untouched. Also for a historic storage for us. Then anything that we create custom gets uploaded to a separate folder in Cloudera, so it's also easier to find for everyone else, easier to look for using the search, and it helps us sorting better things inside our DAM.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. I think we're out of time. Thank you, everyone, for attending the session. We'll see you in another session a little bit later.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.